that can be attested to. And Asiwaju is somebody who, number one, is completely liberal as well, and who has performed in Lagos, and who has track records and who can be attested to. So they converged naturally in APC. This actually made things easy for us. But unfortunately, there were some disgruntled elements within the party that tried to divide the party along religious lines. But we thank God, we were able to stand firm, at least substantially, to produce victory for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And this is something that I'm really, really personally proud of. And our hope and belief is that as we go along with his liberal nature and the liberal nature of his vice, we are going to make the issue of religion in politics completely irrelevant, so that next time nobody will even think about whether this one is a Muslim or a Christian or any religion. So their combination is perfect for Nigeria, as it is.
Indeed. So congratulations.
Very easy said for us.
So congratulations again.
Thank you.
So as you said, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, and his deputy, Kashim Shettima, they complement each other very well, both men of achievement.
Yes.
Now, going forward now, elections, of course, you know, passions will be high and that kind of. You spoke also about some schisms within the party. Hopefully all of that is now water under the bridge. We've passed that stage. We're now just looking forward. I wanted you to talk briefly about, as I began to say, elections bring about schisms, and you know, Asiwaju is one known for building and building structures and even relationships. So national cohesion has always been something very, very close to him. He's probably going to have to put on that cap about national cohesion. Whoever becomes the president is the president of all after the elections. Would you like to speak on that theme? Because there might have been some, you know how it is. People feeling, of course it has already been said that if there is any reason, if you are dissatisfied in any shape or form, of course you can approach the courts. But the man that you know, your leader, talk to me about national cohesion as a theme for him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Polarin. I have to say that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the end of his first 4 years, will prove to Nigerians that religion is irrelevant in politics. And because he understands our diversity, you know, we are about 250 ethnic groups in this country. And he has relationships virtually in all the states. And it's something that he is going to put into use, you know, to his advantage, you know, to the advantage of the nation. We should, as a nation, you know, learn from each other as different communities. We should be able to visit, you know, different communities, learn about different cultures. In my place, we have a lot of festival activities. In the south, in Calabar area, you know, in Bayelsa area, in Lagos, in Kwara, in Sokoto, there are different, you know, cultures, festivals, and different practices, you know, that even can attract tourism into this country. We should put them into positive use. They should not be used to divide us. These are things that the God Almighty has bestowed on us, has given us. And I believe Asiwaju understands this. He has traditional title in virtually all the major you know, ethnic groups here in Nigeria. In my place, you know, he has a traditional title, in Borgu, the people who identified him as actually a leader, a really national leader. They gave him the title of Jagaban, and that's the only one he answers. You know, that title is from Borgu Emirate.
200 of them.
You know, and
he must have
he
at
has
least
so many
200
of them.
of those titles.
Eh?
He must have about 200 of those titles.
Exactly.
But as you rightly say, he identifies and is known as Jagaban Borgu.
Jagaban. So you can see that will be used to actually knit us together as a nation. Because really at some point, I have to admit that our unity was shaken. But with this election, we are going to have a truly united Nigeria, a truly diverse Nigeria that understands its potentials, that can be used as, as a potential for attracting tourists across the world. In those days, in the 70s, we used to have, Europeans and Americans, coming into Nigeria to watch the Daba, to visit Yankari Game Reserve, to visit Argungu Fishing Festival, to visit the Obudu Cattle Ranch, the Bayelsa, boat regalia, and so on. So we will come to that position. I believe we will come back to that position within the first 4 years. At the end of the first 4 years, we'll be happier people than we are now. So the process continues.
Indeed. Now, another aspect of Asiwaju that I think there's so many important things that he's going to have to attend to now that we know he's the incoming president, and you've just of tentacles. But let me think more than half of all Nigerians, are between, a certain age. I think it is around between the ages of 16 to 18, that kind of 18, right up to 39, 40. Forgive me if I didn't get the range exactly right, but that area shows that there are more than 60% of Nigerians that fall into that category. Now, the youth in particular, he has recently addressed them, spoken to them in a statement that he is aware of their frustrations, and that together between his administration and the youth, they will be building together a country that really, sort of reassures the youth that this one country that we all have can get to where the youths want it to be. As you probably know much well, perhaps even better than me, he's always been very highly interested in the matters of the youth. We've seen this going around universities, going around all these hostels in the past. That is something that you probably will be saying, I imagine, that the time has come for an administration to really embrace the youth and take them on. How well do you think Asiwaju will do in that regard?
Thank you. You see, the first step towards solution of a problem is to identify the problem. That's the first step. And I'm very happy that on his, election, on the day he was declared president-elect, he communicated a message to the youth that he has heard them loud and clear, and that he's going to address the problems of the youth. And the problems of the youth is essentially absence of opportunities, employment opportunities, opportunities to realize talents, opportunities to, to be what you want to be. But I have to admit, the agenda for the development, for youth development in this country will have to be, developed in conjunction with the youth. The government, the next government, his government, definitely will consult the youth on the agenda for youth development. Right now, maybe what I can call myself an elder, what we think the youth want might not necessarily be what they want, but we know that they want to improve their lives. They want to have a future, they want to have great-grandchildren, they want to have a nation full of opportunities. So how do we go about that? And what are the other things that we don't know that the youth actually will want to have? This includes, because I'm saying this because, you see, we're in the technology age. There are so many things I, for instance, and many of us don't know that the youth actually want. Those that are in consonance with our culture, with our tradition, with our religion, can be actually, explored. There are so many things, in the West that cannot just be imported into this country, hook, line, and sinker. We have to build them. We have to say that this is good for you, this is not good for you. For example, like the gay movement. You can't have gay movement in Nigeria. Nobody will accept it. In Africa, you understand what I mean? Okay, now youth, what do you want? This is what we want. How do we want it? This is how we want it. You just develop a roadmap, maybe a 25-year roadmap, like the way he did in Lagos, to develop, the potentials of the youth that are unborn, even. You understand what I mean? So, in that light, I believe Asiwaju means very well and is very sincere on his agenda for the youth. I think they should embrace it wholeheartedly. They should cooperate with the government of APC to actualize youth development positively in the interest of our nation, in the interest of who we are, as diverse people. That's my view.
Exactly. So we can take it as a given then from your perspective that he will be listening to inputs from the youth, just along the lines that you just. He will be, his administration will be a listening administration.
Essentially, that's what I'm saying.
Now, the other thing is, I don't know if the word is reconciliation. I was saying that after elections, some feelings are hurt, and we've heard that people can go to court. But even in his speech, he was immediately inviting, look, all former contestants, that we had a vibrant contest, but he's invited all of them to come together. This fits into the mode, at least just that statement, it fits into the mode of what people who have viewed him well in Lagos, and perhaps those associates who know him better around the country as well. This whole group thing where he wants people of diverse minds, diverse talents, diverse sensibilities to come together and let's talk about this. Let's talk about this and take something out of it and maybe have a position. Do you think this is going to be, because now we're dealing on a national scale.
Yeah, indeed.
That everybody should close ranks. Talk to me about that, about the man Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
His call is evidence. It's a clear evidence that he does not have a winner takes all posture. All parts of Nigeria will be represented in his government. And he is offering the opposition parties, those who lost the elections, not to be bitter, not to feel bitter. It's generosity, inviting them to be part of the nation building process. And this is something, this is a gift. Not all politicians would say such a thing. We didn't hear Obasanjo say such things during his time. We have never heard Obasanjo inviting the opposition, for example. I have to admit that. I have to say that. This particular statement is a clear indication that this is a patriot that is actually pursuing an agenda of nation building by inviting those who actually contested against him to be part of his government. I think it's commendable. That should actually be celebrated, in the media. But nobody is talking about it. To invite those who you defeated in the election, which was actually, gaps are not as Great.
One moment, please, Mr. Medugu. Mr. George in Lagos has called in. Fine morning to you, Mr. George.
Uncle Yori, good morning, and good morning to your guest.
Yes, good morning.
I want to congratulate Nigerians for voting for Asuwaju. And one thing that cannot but be recognized in this election is that from now on, religion in politics in Nigeria has been defeated. Nobody should come tomorrow and start telling us Christian ticket, Muslim ticket. If that is the only thing this election has achieved, I am personally satisfied with that. Then kudos to northern governors. The northern governors are the heroes of this election, Uncle Yori. They have proved they stand for integrity, they stand for fairness, they stand for fair play, and it must be acknowledged. We want other governors to follow suit because that's the only way Nigeria can grow. Uncle Yori, I also want to let you know I'm a very, very ardent supporter of Asuwaju. I have no regret for that. But as he comes to power, sir, I am going to put him on his toes. Where he does good, we will praise him for it. If he's not doing the right thing in any way, we will criticize him for it. All for the betterment of our country. I like him to build a team, as he is known for in Lagos, based on ability, not other just party considerations. I know he won't do that anyway. I want to see somebody like Governor Wike in the Ministry of Works. If you give that man, the Ministry of Works, he is most likely to do better than Governor Fashola. You see what he has done in River State. Julius Berger that is doing in Lagos Ibadan Road and other roads, they don't do like that in Rivers. If he gives you contract, you must execute it within time. Asuwaju should also look beyond the APC party. There are many young people in other parties that I see can exhibit certain abilities. Some of them are abroad. Let them come home. Everybody that knows they have something to offer Nigeria, let them come now. This is the time to build this country.
Indeed.
Yeah, so, Uncle Yori, the last I would like to say is about elections in Lagos, the one for governorship. What I am hearing and what I saw during this election is not tidy. Asuwaju's election or campaign was based on his achievements in Lagos that made Lagos the 5th largest economy in Africa today. The critical infrastructure in Lagos cannot be given to someone that is not able to carry it forward. What I'm hearing, ethnicity that is playing out in Lagos must not be allowed to stand in the interest of development, peace, and tranquility. The last, Uncle Yori, please, after the program, I advise you to telephone MFLA, the governor of Central Bank, that he should release money. People are suffering.
Yes.
The election, Asuwaju has won the election. There was no vote buying.
Yes. Okay.
So that excuse was giving us that there will be vote buying as if he's a chairman of INEC.
All right.
We want our money. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mr. George. Mr. Medugu, you heard all of that, and he touched on Lagos, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's home state. He touched on Lagos and made a few comments in there. Going by the results of the election, of course, you know, Asuwaju himself popularized Olule. Now, people were able to use Olule, say Asuwaju self Olule in Lagos. That is on the presidential election. And now we're going into the governorship election. Do you expect that pattern to continue? The numbers that were garnered by the party that won, you know, it's democracy. And he himself was quick to come out and say he accepts the results of the election. And if he narrowly lost, that should not be the cause of violence or, you know, dissatisfaction up to the level of violence. So as we are going towards the 11th of March, when there will be another election, there have been some unsavory, kind of rumblings. This must all be, resolved amicably and peacefully. Do you think that your party is up to that task?
Yes, APC, we have many governors who are going for second term, and we also have many governors that have ended their second terms and have produced credible successors. And in some states, definitely there will be alliances. There's a third force that came on board this election this year. That's the Labour Party. So we cannot ignore the potency of the Labour Party, their strength, and their acceptability among certain group of Nigerians. I believe the next election will see alliances even with the Labour Party in some states, because it's about governorship and House of Assembly. Some states that have, we know, weak candidates can actually venture into alliance with the Labour Party to come up with a winner. And once that works, I think we will have some even more governors than we had, we're having now. So in that light, I would like to suggest that the next election shall be based entirely on merit, not on religious line, not on ethnic line, entirely on merit. If a governor has performed like my governor in Borno State, give him chance. And it is, I think, even very rude to contest against him. Commend him and give him chance, so that he can do better. That's number one. Number two, if governors that have performed woefully in some states, for example, some governors have, despite the fact that there were bailout funds, there was the Paris Club refunds, they were unable to, in fact, as up to the election, they have been unable to pay their salaries in arrears of sometimes 6 months, sometimes 8 months. So these governors shall not be re-elected, and they should not, have their their nominated successors elected, because there is not much different from them. Unfortunately, we don't have any APC governor that is owing that much. And as a party man, I would say that Nigerians should vote APC all across the line. In
any case, the results are there in Lagos. I beg your pardon. I was going to say the results are there in Lagos if it is needed. But Reverend Dominic, first of all, thank you very much for holding on all that while, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Yore. Yore, I want to congratulate Aswaju for this hard-earned victory. But, Yore, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Congratulations, Yore. But I want to say this. You know my emotion about this election. One thing I love about this man, Yore, after a few hours of declaring him a winner, it has started working as a president. How? I heard his speech that day. They have also formed a committee, a strong segment committee in APC, to go and reach out to his opponent in FP, in PDP. How they take it, I don't know. But that's supposed to be a mind of a man who is prepared on stage. And number two, I know, I have heard his speech, his last night, some of that tension that APC put all of us. Now, look at the speech. The speech is that this man understands that never in the history of Nigeria have we had a election that is well contested. And everybody minds on it. Every three of them, the PDP, the FP, the APC candidate, got 12 states. They have not happened in the history of Nigeria. It's well contested. It means this, that everybody in this nation wanted a change. The truth must be saying, I'm a part of APC. APC have put us in a hard, terrible tension, pain, including Aswadi. So most people could have liked that APC should go about it and let their lesson. But thank God for the personality of Ashwaju. The winner of this election is not APC. And I say boldly, the winner of this election, according to INEC, is Ashwaju Bola Tinubu. His character, his personality, and he brought it to bear. He has hit the ground running by trying to reconcile Nigeria. We are divided. I have not seen a nation divided like Nigeria now. And thank God Ashwaju knows it. By his countenance, he's not celebrating so much, he's not laughing so much, but he tried to know that we have been wounded every corner, and he has come to reconcile. Whatever happens from now, if God knows everything, but he's now, the president-elect. I want to plead to everybody to be calm. After election, as I said last week, there will be a Nigeria. Congratulations again, but let's not celebrate so much. Try to sound out another person. This election is well contented, and they'll be 100% well.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. And Mr. Bashir Madugu, we'll go on a break now. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll continue our conversation and indeed taking calls from our viewers. Stay with us, please.
The 2023 general election is here. The people of Zamfara State, you have no other option than to re-elect Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawalle Maradun Barden Hausa Shetiman Dolar Usmaniya for the second time in office under the platform of the APC. Dr. Bello Matawalle has done well in the areas of security, health, education, upgrade of the traditional institutions, modernization of the government house to world-class standard, improving the welfare of civil complex and the befitting conference hall at the JB Secretariat, among other things. Re-electing Dr. Bello Matawalle will afford him the opportunity to complete the ongoing construction of Gusau Cargo Airport, 3-star hotel in Gusau, Ruga settlement in the 3 Senatorial District, among other key projects. Vote Dr. Bello Matawalle come 2023. Vote APC for continuity, peace, unity, and development of our dear state. APC. Progress.
Okay, welcome back. Our guest is Bashir Madugu. He's a special advisor on trade and investments to the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum. He's also a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Now, Mr. Madugu, to come to your area, I'm talking about trade and investments. As you know, following the announcement of the victory of Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there were movements, positive movements in the stock market, maybe money market, that kind of a thing. In short, the business community felt reassured, so much so that whatever it is that such people would do that would depress the market, it looks like it was the very opposite that was done. And so we had positive movements on the market. So trade and investments, is that something you'd like to talk about? You think there's a new dawn? Of course, there is a new dawn for Nigeria generally, but in that area, trade and investments, do you see a new dawn?
I'm very happy to hear about the positive movement of the Nigerian Stock Exchange upon the announcement of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect. It is a testimony to the fact that businessmen are happy. This is because, Asiwaju believes that the private sector shall be the driving force of an economy. Collaboration with the private sector is the bedrock of faster economic growth. Because we are in a system, a capitalist system, we have so much money in the private sector that are not being properly or judiciously used or put to proper use. Like, for example, in infrastructure, which is the sine qua non for economic development, infrastructure like airports, forts, roads, and so on, dams, and power infrastructure and so on, shall be developed fast so that we can have a fast economic development. And to do that, we need to actually adjust our laws, make it possible for the private sector to come and partner with government in a public-private partnership arrangement to develop those sectors. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the first governor to embrace the concept of public-private partnerships. Look at Eco Atlantic. Look at the development Lekki Phase 2, 3, and 4. All these, the master plan that embraced public-private partnership as the bedrock of Lagos State economic development was conceived by this man. And as we speak, Lagos has the highest number of PPP projects in Nigeria. The Lekki toll road is a PPP project. You know, there are so many other things. All these institutions that he established, for example, there is an office specifically, the Public-Private Partnership Agency, that is taking charge of issues relating to collaboration with the public sector in infrastructure development in Lagos State. And not only in roads and ports and so on, also in social infrastructure such as education, health, you know, to collaborate with the private sector to set up clinics across rural and urban areas, making it easy for them, giving them incentives to set up clinics, you know, in urban and rural areas, as well as schools, you know, spread private sector schools across rural and urban areas, thereby taking off pressure from the public resources, taking off pressure from public money, so that the government can provide quality education.
I beg your pardon. As you are speaking, there are pictures. Okay, I was just going to explain the pictures, but there are pictures relating to the times you were speaking about, going back all the way back to when he was governor in Lagos. There's a much younger, Bola
exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
So this is what I'm talking about. We are envisaging, and we're hoping, and we know by the grace of God that have a positive person in a position to put in place positive programs for the private sector.
I must interrupt you now
for the development of the Nigerian economy.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I must apologize to Emmanuel, who has been waiting in Benin, Edo State, to come on the program. Mr. Emmanuel, I'm so sorry. Good morning to you.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Please go ahead now. Thank you.
Okay, you mean I should go ahead?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to say congratulations to... good morning, sir. I want to say congratulations to Asiwaju. I want to also say congratulations to Asiwaju. Congratulations to the Northern governors. I want to say congratulations to the Northern governors that did the right thing to make Nigeria to be one.
Okay. I think we lost that call, but really, you got the meat of your message out. As you heard him, Mr. Medugu, congratulating Asiwaju, but also now congratulating the Northern governors. And we've spoken about that, the bridges that the man has built over the past 3-4 decades. If you want, his own personal infrastructure, which is actually better called networking. The Northern governors, and without the cooperation of the Northern governors and other peoples up and down the land, the victory wouldn't have been possible. So again, it's a matter of leaning on each other, building bridges, and talking about infrastructure. Since we're talking about bridges, it just reminded me about infrastructure. The administration, the current administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, has in no small measure moved that particular scale up, because the infrastructure that this administration has actually, provided can only be built upon by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for positive purposes to further enhance whatever his initiatives and objectives are.
Yes, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, more than any other government before it, perhaps comparable only to the Babangida regime, has built infrastructure across the country. And the government has achieved a lot in the infrastructural development. And it's a work in progress, And Nigeria is a very large country, and infrastructure development is a very expensive venture. Unfortunately, you see, you have to have innovative sources of funding to continue to develop modern infrastructure in the country. We need to have, more roads, modern roads, even concrete roads. And the infrastructure tax credit scheme launched by the former Minister of Finance about 3 or 4 years ago, and the has actually helped in addressing some infrastructure challenges in Nigeria. This is an innovative venture, and I believe also there are so many other innovative, ways of raising funds. For example, we have the pension funds. I don't want to talk about it, but I really have to, because the pension funds are idle funds laying in the banks, being used as, stabilization factors in the banks. That is not what it should be. The pension funds should be used, put to proper use, productive use, by amending our pension reform act, the act that was passed that produced this National Pension Commission that reformed our pension during Obasanjo's time. We really need to amend it so that banks can be able to advance loans in excess of 2 years. As we speak, banks cannot be able to give long-term funding. Which, if you cannot access long-term funding, you cannot develop infrastructure. Infrastructure is a long-term investment. You should be having funds, credit for at least 10 years, whose repayment periods will be at least 10 years. For example, if you want to build a toll road, it will take like 10 years to refund the credit obtained to build the loan. So presently, it is very difficult, if not impossible. Because our companies, those companies that are trying to go into things, will have to look for international funding. International funding in the Middle East, in Europe, and these international funds, they have conditions. They have conditions. The conditions include our rating as a country, sovereign guarantees, and so on. These are difficult things to actually access, to
indeed.
get.
Again, so I've kept somebody waiting because I didn't want to interrupt you. Forgive me for doing so now, for butting in now. I'm so sorry. But Alhaji Quadri has been waiting in Ogba. Again, I must apologize. Good morning, Alhaji Quadri.
Good morning, Uncle Lori. How are you?
Thank you very much. Good morning, sir. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. Well, there's no what we need to say. It's just for me to violate my principal, who is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm the national patron for Bola Campaign Organization in Nigeria. He really worked. This is somebody that people have been patronizing even from when Buhari was contesting in 2015 and 2019, when we were then Buhari Campaign Organization. And he remained focused since then and up to this time now. You will see people that want to rule any country. They have the preparation, even from when the time is too far from today. And yesterday now, he was pronounced the president of Nigeria.
President-elect.
We are happy. Elect of Nigeria. We are happy about that. Well, in Lagos, that we lost Lagos to Labour. It's not something that will be painful. It's just a way to ginger us so that we can work very hard for the Saturday 11th March election, so that we make sure that we win everything. If you could see the pattern, all the assembly, the Senate seats in Lagos, APC took all of them, and including the House of Reps in Lagos. But the thing is, what youth were voting for is just like Trump did in America, the last election of Trump. What they voted for was the jingle that Obi was dancing around, and he was able to manipulate there today. But what people are thinking that Igbo, it was because an Igbo man was on the ballot paper as president in Nigeria, and they all went for him, which was the tribalistic type of voting, which did not happen to our principal and to others. Because if you in the East, Obi got all the voting in the East, beating the two other parties or three other parties to it. APC, PDP, and the NNPP. But in other areas, he won in other areas because the Igbos there were concentrating, and the youth were concentrating on the person on the ballot. You could see it's not that Labour is so strong. Labour has been around for years. At least Labour has been around for about 15, 20 years. It's not a new thing. And the people that were gathering before Obi left PDP during their primaries, that he could not win the presidential ticket from PDP. He left them for Labour. The people that were gathering them, Professor Patutomi, Kwesele, and the others were the ones gathering. They'd be talking about third force, but they couldn't get it until he went there, and he went there personally. So me, I think it's not that Labour is strong, so they should not get on their head.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alhaji Quadri, for calling in. Thank you for your analysis. But, you know, Asiwaju has this attitude, I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new, about being very accommodating. There are people from all over the country in Lagos, and I don't think nobody wants to change that in Lagos. Whatever the situation was, it can be worked at. Asiwaju himself has put out a statement on this, that the fact that he narrowly lost should not be the cause for any violence. Not that you have suggested any violence, but certainly AP is going to be, you know, going back to the drawing board to see whatever it is that they need to do, just as the other party will also now be looking at things, and everybody will be sort of sharpening up their act. No doubt there are those who are saying that it will be different at that time, but that remains to be seen. But the important thing is that Asiwaju put out a statement. We've been speaking here about, I think it was Mr. George, who called in earlier that, look, things like tribe, things like religion, they can just go down there. They don't, yes, they exist, but they can just go down low on the scheme of things, as we say. I'm sure, again, coming to you, Mr. Maijogu,
yes.
Would you see differently?
Honestly,
or is
Mr. Polarin, yes. Yeah, I will just comment a little. Mr. Polarin, I believe the issue of religion, especially the issue of religion, will weather away with time. When we have development, we have prosperity, we have education, the issue of religion, no pastor or imam will influence your decision to vote a particular candidate. Okay? The issue of religion will soon weather away. It will just weather on itself. Because there will be preaching, people will not be listening. Already this is happening. Already this is happening. By the grace of God, with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's first 4 years, we hope to achieve prosperity and some level of development in which the issue of religion will even be made more irrelevant.
Okay.
You know, so as we go along,
let me quickly let me bring in Victor. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me bring in Victor. Victor called in from Akwa Ibom State. He's our last caller. A fine morning to you, Victor.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I really appreciate you people for what you are doing.
Thank you. Go on, Victor. We can hear you.
I want to congratulate the president-elect.
Okay.
I want to congratulate the president-elect. Yeah, the problem we are having in Nigeria is that we don't know what we are looking for.
That's a new one.
Where we are heading to.
Well, we have somebody who is going to help us now. The president-elect will certainly be helping in that regard if it is that we don't know what we're looking for. Maybe we should take a look at his manifesto. Okay, he's gone. And in fact, okay, to return to you, I don't know where Victor would have taken it, but Victor seemed to be going along the lines of, maybe we've not made up our minds what we really want in Nigeria, to which I was, responding there. No, perhaps you should take another look at the manifesto.
Let me just state this. You see, as Nigerians generally, we have to look at ourselves and do the right thing. Whoever we are, we should be able to do the right thing. We should obey the law. We should pay our taxes. We should obey traffic light. We should be able to, understand that this country is ours and we have to take care of it. And for us to do that, we should do the right thing at all times. Not at some time, at all times. Any opportunity that comes, do the right thing. And if you are doing the right thing, everybody is doing the right thing, we will end up doing the right thing all the time. And with the election of this man as our president right now, I think we have a very good opportunity to actually cross over from, say, a low-income country into a middle-income country. Yes, as it is now, we're just crossing over. So we should support ourselves. If you don't support yourself, nobody will support you. There is no point crossing the Sahara to Europe. This is your country. There is no point trying to, be a stowaway in a ship or in an aircraft. No reason. You have to stay here no matter your situation, improve yourself, do the right thing, see the opportunities near you. If you don't have any talent or skill, what you can do, for example, go to the market, you see some wheelbarrows, kept, and these wheelbarrows are for hire, and they don't take money in advance. You go and work,
you can't say there are no opportunities.
Finish your work for the day, come back and their balance. Maybe it's 500 naira, and you take your balance. That is work. At least for the meantime, for those that have,
I know you could,
that are not educated,
I've got to really
that
jump
are
in
not
now.
skillful.
I know you can develop this, and I know you want to develop this, but we've run out of time. We've run out of time, and I want to thank you very much, Mr. I didn't even say Alhaji, but I'm sure it's Alhaji Bashiru Madugu. I want to thank you very much for coming on our program. I wish we had more time. Thank you very much. And once again, let me join our viewers in congratulating you, and your party. Bashiru Madugu, Special Advisor on Trade and Investments to the Borno State Governor, Professor Zulum Shetima, Professor Babagana Zulum, and member of the APC Presidential Council. Thank you very much for coming on our program this morning. Okay, so that's our program now. So please join us tomorrow, Friday, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin.